Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So currently it is the beginning of the month. It is August 1st and the election will be taking place on November 5th between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, who is now the presumptive Democrat nominee. They've replaced Joe Biden. They basically admitted that Biden cannot beat Trump. Will Kamala Harris be able to beat Trump? Well, definitely shaking up the race has brought Democrats a lot of energy, and it's brought a lot more energy to them since the last prediction that we've done between these two. But still, Donald Trump in the polls, when you look at the polls, he's still polling at his highest point ever at 48.1%. Now, things very well could change, and we'll monitor them as they do. But Donald Trump is in a very strong position. In the popular vote, he's up by 2 points. Think of it, in this day in history, Donald Trump in 2020 trailed Biden by nearly 8 points. So that's a 10-point shift to the right from then. For anybody concerned about this election, it still would take a lot to go wrong at this point if the polls are correct for Donald Trump to lose it. And that includes the fact that the polls likely could be suffering from a response bias that's causing Kamala Harris to surge because Democrats finally, there's an ounce of life in them, and that's what we're seeing right now with Kamala Harris. But still, in the polling aggregate, she is down by 2 percentage points, which does not translate well nationally. We don't have a lot of head-to-head polls in the state polls quite yet between these two. We will be looking at the 2020 data as we go throughout to make comparisons, but still we're going to be doing this prediction between Trump and Kamala. What does the map look like as it stands today? We are 96 days away from Election Day, so we're going to fill this map out. But first, I have to tell you guys about our very good friends over at My Patriot Supply, because your freedom is up for the taking, and those doing the taking committed to defend your freedom. But they can't take away what they've never given you: peace of mind. Your shelves stocked with 3 months of emergency food, that's peace of mind. Go to prepareWithRedEagle.com and save $200 on their 3-month emergency food kit. Over 2,000 calories a day, lasts up to 25 years, absolutely delicious. I know people who live off of this stuff, and in the Biden economy, it saves money too. And you can get $200 off and free shipping at preparewithredeagle.com. Again, that is preparewithredeagle.com, because you can never be too prepared. But anyways, back to the video. We're going to be filling out this map. We're going to start off with the safe Republican states, the states that are going to go Republican by 10 percentage points or more. This includes a lot of the Mountain West and the Great Plains, much of Nebraska. Aside from the 2nd District, you have the Deep South, and you have much of Appalachia. You also have Ohio and Iowa that are joining this column, South Carolina, as well as the state of Alaska, and Maine's 2nd District will be reappearing in this column. On top of it, we have to fill out the safe Democrat states. But first, I would like to announce the introduction of the state of Florida into this column, just because Kamala Harris, she's being attacked on numerous issues. And we talk about the Cubans in South Florida. Trump won a lot of their votes by tying Biden to socialism, which again was a little bit of a stretch to some people. But Kamala Harris, she has co-sponsored Bernie Sanders' healthcare plan. She has co-sponsored the Green New Deal. I mean, the ads are going to be brutal, and the state has gotten a registration advantage for the Republicans of like a net 1 million votes in their column since 2020, when already it was moving right. So I think Florida will enter the safe column. I think Texas, which we had as likely in the last video, I still think you could make a case that it would be in the safe column. Kamala Harris does not poll well among Hispanics, and the whole border thing, the whole, oil industry thing that Donald Trump is hitting her on, it's more effective there than it is in other places. And I think Trump at the end of the day is going to end up taking Texas by, maybe even more than he took it by in 2016. I think you could put it in the safe column. So already out of the gate, Trump with a very, very high floor at 219, but Kamala Harris, we got to fill her states out, her home state of California, the Western Seaboard, the state of Hawaii, And much of these states out east here we can put in the safe column. I know I had Delaware and New Jersey as likely in the last one, but as of right now, still, until we get additional polling, we'll keep them in the safe column. Also Illinois and Colorado, which is not quite what it used to be. A lot of liberal Californians moving in. It's crazy to think that the state voted Republican in 2004, but times do indeed change. So very high floors for both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Trump at 219, Kamala Harris at 191. We'll fill out the likely states. In this video, it does not really seem as if we have a state that is going to be going in the likely Republican column here, but we do have some states that will be going in the likely Democrat column. Actually, I think we only have about one, the state of New Mexico, which I do expect Trump to gain in, especially among Hispanic voters, but Kamala Harris probably wins it by, 5 to 6 percentage points at the end of the day. But I think that's actually it for the likely states. We're going to be moving on to the lean states. We'll start off with the lean Republican states. I think the first state that's going to be going in this column is the state of Wisconsin. I think it's going to vote to the right of both of the other Rust Belt states. It's got a much larger white working class population, which Kamala Harris is really going to bleed a lot of support with, I feel like, at the end of the day. I don't believe it's fully being captured within the polling, but you're going to see a lot of these shifts continue to the right in southwestern Wisconsin and in a lot of these smaller metros like Green Bay, the Fox cities, Racine and Kenosha. They're going to turn a corner. I think Trump will perform decently enough in the WOW counties to end up winning the state. Kamala Harris, she might be able to energize turnout better than Biden in a place like Milwaukee or Madison, but again, I don't think it's quite going to be enough. I think Trump's going to win it by maybe 3 points or so as things stand right now. So we're going to be going to the state of North Carolina here. North Carolina, I believe, is going to go to Donald Trump by probably around, 3-4 points. Roy Cooper basically withdrew himself from the VP running for Kamala Harris. I don't believe he would have made much of a difference, but Donald Trump is going to do much better in the northeastern part of the state. I think he might even do better in the Charlotte suburbs than 2020 or the exurbs, where you have a higher, white working class population than the Atlanta suburbs, for example. And I think in the southeastern part, he'll improve. He'll hold his own in the rest of the state. I think he's going to end up winning it by around, maybe his 2016 margin, maybe a little less. Republican registration data does look pretty good in the state of North Carolina, though. We'll give that to Donald Trump in the lean Republican column. Also, the state of Arizona. Donald Trump doing very well among Hispanic voters against Kamala Harris compared to how he was doing with Joe Biden. On top of that, this is a state where you have a lot of these like suburban weak independents that are kind of swingy. A lot of them could stomach Biden in 2020. Are they really down with the Biden-Harris agenda now, especially with the border crisis and a lot of other things that are going on? I probably would say they're a little bit more skeptical. Trump was polling very well in Arizona. He was beating Biden by like 6 points. I don't think Harris is really going to close the gap. I feel like Harris's strength is probably among energizing black voters compared to Biden. There's not a lot of them in the state of Arizona to begin with. I think that Donald Trump is going to end up taking the state of Arizona by like 2 to 3 when it's all said and done. The registration data looks much better than 2020. Put that in the lean Republican column. You'll see a rebound to Trump's column at the end of the day there. And also the state of Nevada. I think that Trump, he was already beating Biden. He was already having a very good operation there in the state of Nevada. The Republicans are doing much better there than in years past. Clark County, I think Trump could cut that margin down significantly. I think he'll improve significantly among Hispanic voters. There's a big white working class population in the state as well. He'll likely run it up with them. I don't think this is a really good state for Kamala because Kamala, she's from California. A lot of people that have moved to Nevada are actually conservatives that have fled the state of California. That does not bode well for somebody like Kamala Harris. Same thing goes for Texas. It's why I have Texas in the safe column. When it's all said and done, I think Trump is going to win the state of Nevada by a lean margin. So we'll fill out the lean Democrat states. We're going to start off here. I know we had Maine at large and New Hampshire in the Republican column tilt last time, but we've had some new polling data that shows that may not exactly be the case. It does seem as if Kamala, she might energize a lot of those, more, college-educated white women, some of the far left as well that's up there in that part of the country. I still think Trump improves significantly from 2020 in some of those places because Biden definitely had a unique point of strength in the Northeast. But as of right now, I'm going to put those states in the Democrat column. We're going to play it a little bit more safe here because there's a lot we just don't know about how this race is going to shake out. Same thing goes for Virginia. I think Kamala Harris is going to bleed a lot of support, and I guess you would say Northern Virginia. Biden was very well known in the state. He, played it to his strength. The state is kind of turning a corner. Donald Trump, I think, is going to run it up in the rural part of the state, some of these smaller metros downstate, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Kamala takes it probably by like a, Hillary Clinton 2016 margin, give or take, like 51-47. So that's going to be in the lean Democrat column. Additionally, I think we'll put the state of Minnesota in her column right now. This state's going to get closer, I believe. It's possible the governor, Tim Walz, is going to be picked on the ticket. I'm not sure that that's going to fully move the needle a lot for her. I think Trump will run it up in the, rural part, the white working class part, but there is a big far left population that Biden was struggling with. I think Kamala Harris could, re-energize those voters, potentially get them out to vote, possibly pick off the state of Minnesota. So without further ado, we have 3 states and 1 district to fill out. We'll fill out the district first. I believe Nebraska's second. It's been redistricted. It's moving left. I think Trump's going to kind of boomerang in it, but as of right now, I think it's going to split. I think Kamala might narrowly win it. I think down ballot, you might see Don Bacon end up winning that district at the congressional level, but that leaves 3 states. Donald Trump would need to win one of these 3 to retake the White House. Kamala Harris needs to win all 3 of them as things stand today. Pennsylvania. This state, I believe, is going to go to Trump. In fact, you might make a case it could be lean column at the end of the day. We'll see. I think Josh Shapiro gives Kamala Harris about a 1 to 2% boost if he's on the ticket. He is the current front runner. But again, his popularity is going to plummet if he joins the ticket. He's never really been attacked his entire career. His approval ratings are good, but that's not likely going to stay the case if he does join the ticket. But you see this here. Biden had a really, really unique point of strength in eastern Pennsylvania. This line right here, about the line where the Steelers fans and the Eagles fans kind of go 50-50. On one side of the line, it's more of one. On the other side of the line, it's more of the other. Biden did well in the Philadelphia area, northeastern Pennsylvania, among these white working class voters. That Kamala Harris just does not have any appeal to whatsoever. I think Trump's going to rebound with them. I think he'll do even better in Philadelphia County, Philadelphia City proper, might even crack 20. Party registration data looks good for Donald Trump there. Altogether, I think Trump is going to win the state of Pennsylvania. I don't know by how much. I think 1 to 2% is fair right now. I think he'll take it in his column. The state of Michigan, this is another state that has a very white working class heavy population. Kamala Harris, again, she got the UAW endorsement, but again, they endorse a Democrat every time. Trump is actually driving that wedge well, talking about the EV mandates that are not popular in Metro Detroit. And again, the border crisis is a big issue in Michigan. Kamala Harris, depending on her VP, I think she might do better among these Muslims in Dearborn because she's kind of more of a blank slate regarding her policy in the Middle East. But still, I think Trump overall, by the skin of his teeth, I think he's favored right now. That poll we saw was ridiculous out of Bloomberg / Morning Compost that had Trump up by 4 in Pennsylvania, but down double digits in Michigan. They even had Biden up big in Michigan before he dropped out. I'd take that with a really, really tiny grain of salt. That leaves the state of Georgia, which I do believe that Kamala Harris, this might be one of the states where she's going to do better than, pre-debate Biden was predicted to do in, just because she will energize liberal black women in the Atlanta area. I don't believe it's going to be enough because there's so many other factors at play. You have inflation, you have the border crisis, the Lake and Riley case, a lot of things going on there, Republicans defortifying the electoral system there. I think that Georgia is going to go Republican by, I think it's going to be closer than people think. As of right now, maybe 1 to 2 points, we'll see. But Donald Trump, as it stands today, he's still the favorite. He's predicted to win in this prediction, which is at the beginning of August, 3 months to go, give or take, a few days, 312 electoral votes to Kamala Harris's 226. So anyways, guys, make sure you guys like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.